the talk with very simple question. Who's of you here that play a role in your life as a change maker? Please raise your hand. Yes, I believe everyone here is you're trying to make something better in some way, in your business, in the school, in communities, and maybe in your own life as well. Yes, and as well as me, I'm trying to make change in Thailand. And sometimes people look at me like alien, you know. What I'm going to share to you today is like, it's something very new in Thailand back 10 years ago. And I'm very honored to be here today to connect with someone that shared a common belief, to not look at me like alien, and to share the same heart and the same vision with future educations. So we have been asking the big questions about, is the school ready? Is the system ready for the students for the future? Even in the previous panel, we were also talking about what is very necessary for the learners to be ready for the world. And that question is not new anymore. Actually, it's more about what is the approach and when is the time for you to start and make the change. Because the timing of learning is as important as the content of learning. So that's why I'm here to share. I believe everyone here is a specialist in education and also an expert. So I am one of the practitioners who try to turn all the model into practice. And I'm here to share what I have done over 18 years and the results that we have made. And this is also not new to everyone. It takes a village to raise a child. And at these situations, in the current situations, this statement becomes more true than ever. And the village of the children is not just teacher and parents anymore. It takes communities, it takes digital platform, it takes AI, it takes after school learning, it takes mentors, coach to coming together. So meaning to change or to raise the child, all the stakeholders, which is the village, needs to really working together to make this change happen. I am Gan and I'm from Thailand. I've been in education industry for 18 years in different aspects. I was a tutor, mentor, coaches, working as an edupreneur, and now I am a founder of Future Education Network International, FENI. We have been running the community for over 10 years, and I am also the PhD candidate doing the research and working in the non-formal educations. And yes, as I said, we have been tested the model that I create, implemented, and also have the proven result of what it really make change to the children's life if we start early. I shift all the models into 4 pillars. We have the micro school model. I'm not sure what happened in your countries. I think it's maybe the same in Asia that, you know, parents need to search for a good school. And sometimes they need to travel far away just to send the kids into that good school, to make sure that they have the right educations, right? But with the micro school model, it can go everywhere and make sure that everyone could access the good education that's ready for futures. And the second pillar, to make that happen, we also need to train the teachers and not just the teacher, you know, to change the education in Asia. Parents play an important role. Family really play an important role to make that change happen. So we have the certification program for those teachers and also parents. And in the traditional system, normally we have the final exam, the midterm exam, but in the real world skill, what should be the test for them? It should be a reality. So that's why I have this international youth competitions that bring the students across the globe to come together to pitch the ideas. When I say students, it starts from 7 years old. Yeah. And last but not least, Last pillar, I create an ecosystem that connect the global mentors and also the people who driving the same thing in other countries so that we can coming together to make the change happen across Asia. I am here as a practitioner, so I'm not going to talk so much about the stat and research, but just to refer to the previous panel and the stat over here. What's happening is that everyone knows what skill that need to be changed, what need to be shifted, and what is coming. But then the one who really need to be responsible for or really train the student to be ready for futures is not be able to cope up with the trends in some way, right? In Asia, by the next 5 years, the teacher supply who really well equipped with the technologies or be very dynamic might become less and less if the change is not happening now. And yes, this is also not news that we have the huge skill gap in the market, right? As an entrepreneur, I deal with a lot of entrepreneurs. We still dealing a lot with we cannot find the workers to work. We cannot have a skilled workforce to fill in the position. But at the same time, every country is dealing with a high unemployment rate. It's very clear that it's really unmatched in the market. So that's why the traditional educations might need to slowly transform into the personalized learning, where we need to figure out what the talents of each individual and try to train and coach and mentor them into the way that they're capable of. Also, the AI tech, people talking about will it replace human, but as an educator and also the founder of education communities, I think we need to work together with the tools to make this personalized learning happen. Because by humans alone, we cannot, but also we cannot ignore the human touch and also the human care that the children may need as well. And yes, we need to shift from the teachers who giving the lecture to be a coach and facilitator in the classroom that could as well learning together with the learners. In the past, 19th century, the teachers stand in front of the class and share the knowledge because the students have no other options, right? Beside teacher and the library. But now it's not anymore. So as a teacher, we should also allow ourselves to make mistakes, to learn together with the learners to make that happen. So as a role of coach and facilitator, could make sure that teacher could play that role in the classroom. And yes, the school shouldn't be a static school anymore. We need a dynamic school that's ready to change all the time. That's why I'm talking about micro school model, because that will make the whole school very adaptable and very dynamic and can cope with the trend and the change of the future. Yeah, so now I'm from Thailand. I told you before that I was like an alien in my own country because I'm talking about something very ahead of time in the past 10 years. So now let's have a look into the Asian context, right? So we all know that education needs to be changed, but sometimes we stuck because of the culture. Asian, we are in the very high context culture. To make one decision, it could take many layers, step of thinking. So that's why sometimes change couldn't happen easily. And beside that, we also be in the instability, politics, social, society, and also the environment as well. So that's why it's not easy, and also the family still play a big role in the students or the children's decision making. Even decide where the futures hold, right? Like, okay, you should be that, you should become that because the parents have the experience. So there is no one direction to change the education in each country. And we are very good in adoption. We think we see what is good in the Western world, and then we bring over to the Asia, which is okay because it was the best practice, it's what excellent result. But then sometimes we forget to consider all this struggle that we have in Asia. So when we bring whatever that's work in different part of the world to Asia, we need to really be focused on localized and make sure we consider all the context of Asians. So that's why we need to create something that really fit the Asian culture. When the school is not ready, and sometimes it cannot cope with change just in time, it really forces parents to step up, to really take care of the student on their own. They started to look for the curriculum after school, activities after school, to make sure that their kids and their children are ready. And this happens in Thailand as well. Yes, so I have to say that I'm very proud of my country that they really give a freedom of choice to choose the educations. We have the traditional way, we have the informal way, non-formal way that open for the students to be a homeschool learners as well. But besides giving the freedoms, sometimes the indicators or the, how can I say, is the models of the evaluation is still very, very traditional. So that's why it's also caused the gap for the parents to really look for some tools to make sure that they could help the student. By saying that, I mean, everyone knows, and the policy of the education industry also announced that we need to move to the competence evaluation. But when it's come to practice, it's not an easy task to just start apply that model. So basically, to summarize what parent is looking for in Thailand, and I know it's happening around Asia as well, they're just looking for the right activities, the safe communities. That's why sometimes they decided to do homeschooling with, when they also don't want to take the kids out of the school, but they want to make sure that they are safe physically and also mentally. You know, beside the bullying and what happening into the school. And also they want to make sure that their children get the right opportunity for their futures. That's the executive functions, right? The Harvard University said like, it's grow very well when the students at the early age before 6 years old. So to show you this is that to say that when you say the future skill, what it needed in the labor market, we cannot start at 15 years old. That's where we start, right? And the next one also show the research from NASA that everybody was born as the genius level 98%. But it's dropped down over time, which means education doesn't support the creativity, but on the contrary, it's really reduced the creativity. So that's why we need to really start early to make this change happen. Bloom taxonomy is been talking for like over 50, 100 years that we need to make sure that learner could excel and could apply and even could create something new. So that is a proof that the knowledge that we give, the skill that we train, that's really work well for them. So I'm going to share my case study, the showcase from our school in Thailand. So this boy, he was with us since he was 3 years old. His first international talk stage was when he was 4, when he still can't even read. But with our approach, we figured out that his talent is on the communications. And he should be able to go on the stage and talk. When sometimes we as an adult still saying like, oh, are they too young to go on the stage? But that fear is not driven by them. They don't have that fear. The one who put the fear on them is adult. So, and now he's 8 years old. starting his own business, making the phone case from the hyacinth. Yeah, so then he could save the environment and at the same time he could make money. Yes, so to summarize all of everything that I've been shared, my 4 pillars is actually focused on bringing all the good things into practice, right? We really follow the Finnish education in terms of applying the individual learning because Finland is very good at that, to care the student as individual. And we really focus on executive function at the early age so that they are formed to be a leader since they are 6 years old. And we really focus on training and spend time with the student on the soft skill, which is necessary for future. For the curriculum, we have this entrepreneurship that embedded with all the subjects learning so that the student could have that entrepreneur mind and ready to cope with change. We also bring in the ikigai as a Japanese use for their life, that if you live the life with passion and purpose, you will make sure that you could survive in any situation because you wake up every day, don't feel like you are working. You're just living your life and making impact. Besides that, we still train the language and other academics, but then we use AI tools to really monitor the learning. And we really encourage the student to be a self-directed learner. That's what it needed in this era, because the traditional way, the student very comfortable with sitting and waiting for teacher to feed them. But it's not happening like that in the real world, right? When you go to work, the leader or the boss expect you to think and propose, not just wait for the instruction. So that's why we really need to use the tools to increase the level of self-directed learning of the student. And digital literacy is also one of the subjects that we teach in school, that the student need to learn to be a smart user and develop themselves to be eventually an innovative creator of the tools, of the technologies. And the most powerful tools and curriculum that really bring us to the success of the micro school model is the parents' communities. We have the future parents' community that learn together with their children. So then they are able to support the children's futures, why not, and not stopping them from being confident, having a self-respect, and make sure that their children have a high self-esteem. It's just these 3 focus. To summarize what I said just now, is that we use the technology and tools with the academic foundation, but with the personalized learning and future skill, we hybrid with the coach and facilitator, and we use the tools to make sure that we could monitor the student individually. So when I talk about the micro school, it means we can just start to have a school by having only 10 or 20 students with the coach and facilitators working with the AI tools and technologies. And it can go everywhere, so then the students don't need to travel anymore along the way to the good school, and it makes sure it's accessible for everyone. And we have the hybrid model, which we can just connect on-site physically, or we can also connect online as well. And yes, parents' classroom is, the parents nowadays, they really want to support the children, but they don't know how. And it's time for the school to really have the high parents' involvement of these chains as well. Because sometimes we are scared of the parents at the school, We are afraid what they say, what they're gonna make a comment, but actually if the school and the parents become a good team, we will have many, many successful leaders for the futures. And yes, educator, it's time to train them to change, to be a coach and facilitator. As I said, every country have the policy to change educations, but the how is need to be there. And to push the teacher to apply it into the real implementation, that is the core of this change. And yes, the global ecosystem. We are not grooming the students to be just a citizen of one country. We are training them to be a global citizen. So that's why we need a global ecosystem. And I'm also willing to connect with everyone here to really create a powerful village together to raise the children for future. Yeah, so that's where we bring every year all the mentors, the entrepreneurs from every countries around Asia coming together and coach and mentor the student on their business startup. I'm going to show some case study to show that it's the real result that happened with our student. Yeah, beside that 4-year-old boy, this girl, she started in our school when she was 9 years old. Now she owns the toy shops and sell the toys online, which is the slam. I think your kids at home also play that. She making over to $2,000 a month, and she owns the trade secret right now. And the picture I show here is happened right after the flood in Thailand. I'm not sure if you heard the news. We have a huge flood, and her shop was gone. And that is the next day what she did. I don't see any tear of her. She just stepped up on the next day, making the sale promotion and cleaning her own shop. And that's what we need for the future, right? And start early. Now she's 13. She started when she was 9. Yeah. This student, she started with us when she was 11, wanted to be a YouTuber, and now she has 6.5 million subscribers, and buying her own house, pay her own fee. So that is, the power of starting early. Because the children, they don't have the block, and their mind is ready to take anything. So that's why we as an adult, to give that freedom of thought, to give the safe space for them to learn and fail. So then they could start again and rising for their own future. This girl, we met her when she was 17, and she had in the very serious depression, also about to, risk her life. But together with the doctor, in the medications that she has, she attending our school to figure out her path. And right now, she play a big role in her university as well. She just won the award with her business startup, and she be on her track, and she fight hard to be herself. And now she become one with the approach of understanding the right mentorship and the right ecosystem. This girl need to fly back from Malaysia to Thailand because of COVID. And she come back with all straight A in academic. But the first day she met us, she was crying. And she said, I don't know what I'm good at. When she has a perfect score at the school. So with our approach, she did even mention that I also don't want to go university because I don't know what to study. After 9 months, she walked to us and tell us that I'm gonna go into engineer. I wanna make some change because her project, when she was developed, when she was in our school, is the remote control to help control the fan for the patient who cannot move. So that she has like a feeling of making efforts to help someone. And then we were surprised that she wanted to go into the engineering, and now she owned the startup that have developed the application to help the kids who have difficulty with the articulations. And now with our global ecosystem, she is partnering with the guy who doing the same tech startup from Israel. Yeah, so that's how it works in our ecosystem. And yes, future is now. And it's the matter of when you start. And start the sooner, the better. I'm open for questions or maybe some sharing and thoughts. Yeah, we still have time here. Feel free to share. Yes, please.
I love what you presented. First and foremost, I have to say that. I'm Ray, and I'm from the Philippines. I'm a trustee of the Philippine Center for Entrepreneurship and one of the founding members of an advocacy group which we call Go Negosyo under the Office of the President. And I think this presentation of yours is something that we can fill in the gap because we're doing more of the advocacy training and mentoring, but we don't have a sort of an incubator program like this. So I really don't have a question, just plain and simple admiration for what you do. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, please.
Matthew, sorry, can you hear me? Yeah. I'm Matthew from Australia, and move it up. Oh, look at that. I have to get a bit closer to that. Yes, I'm Matthew from Australia. I loved your presentation. We have just, I think on Monday, implemented a ban of taking everyone under 16 off social media. This is a way of actually teaching responsible use of social media. And I have, again, not a question except that I would love to take your work to Australia. You're an inspiration for all of us. We've just gone 10 years backwards, and you've showed us how to go 20 years into the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was very meaningful. Thank you. Yes, please.
Not so tall, I'm afraid. Thank you very much for a very inspirational presentation. I'm Nafia from Cyprus, also in education. And like yourself, I greatly believe in making a change through education and training. What was very interesting at the beginning of your presentation, you mentioned the training of the trainers, because actually we have very vivid pedagogical programs across the world. I've assessed some of them, and you're so right. It is about training the trainers. So what is your suggestion? What should the pedagogical training be so the teachers can really meet the learning needs individually, as you mentioned? Thank you.
Thank you. So if it's referred to our approach, what we did, always the first step, we need to let teachers discover themselves first. You know, every teacher have their own talents and their own uniqueness. Sometimes they are teaching math when they are very good in cooking. You know what I mean? we bring them back to where they are and accept who they truly are. So our first few days of training is always about that. And the second one, we input the new knowledge that teacher could be anything, not just a subject teacher. And teacher is allowed to make mistakes and learn together with the students. So that what actually the information that really shift their mindset. Because the traditional way, the teacher get evaluated all the time. And that create fear and create, and they are not confident to step outside the box when they know they need to step out. So I think the permissions for the teacher to be able to do that is very powerful tools, because I respect all the teachers. People who become a teachers have very good heart, for the learners. But sometimes the system just blocking them. So the first step is always let them connected with their own self and also who they really are, their own talent and unique skill, and unleash all that to make sure that they could create something new and make them believe that the system also allow them to do that. Thank you very much.